Hello, everyone. Hi, and welcome to our session today on Azure AI 900 Fundamentals Training. My name is Moria, and will be your moderator today. I'm the Regional Reactor PM, and together with me is Jordan. And through this session, we will both be moderating this series. For those of you who are new to the reactor, so the Microsoft reactors are hubs for technical learning and for sharing. We actually offer students, developers, and startups to connect with each other and learn through our events. We offer events both in person and online, such as today's event. So if you visited our website, you will see that we have 10 locations globally, in-person locations when we have physical reactors. However, as I mentioned, we offer our programming online. So this gives you the opportunity to join basically from anywhere in the world, wherever the time works for you. If you want to sign out to our newsletter, you will receive a monthly email with all the upcoming events we have for the next month. You can scan the QR code on the screen and sign up to our newsletter. I will be sharing some QR codes next. Don't worry, I'm going to share the links also in the chat soon once I'm done presenting. Today's session, and actually a lot of the Reactor sessions, are empowered by Microsoft Learn. For those of you who haven't visited Microsoft Learn before, I really encourage you to visit this website. It's basically a free website offering really thousands of learning and training opportunities, from learning modules, on-demand content, blogs, really so many opportunities for you to learn. As I mentioned, it's free and you can do it from anywhere in the world on your own time, on your own pace. So if you scan the QR code now on the screen, you will reach Microsoft Learn platform. You can also visit the Microsoft Learn AI Hub, which basically gathers all the learning that Microsoft offers around AI. This is really dedicated for AI learning. You can increase your, learn more about your AI skills, and really great opportunity for you to learn more on different trainings around AI. So you can scan the QR code now on the screen and you will reach the AI Learning Hub. As I mentioned before, today is the first part of our series. So really excited to be with you today. This is going to be an 8-part series. And we are starting today with the first one. The next one will be on January 9th, and the last session will be at the end of the month on January 30th. If you haven't signed up for the other session, I encourage you to scan the QR code now on the screen and sign up for the upcoming sessions in this series. So a bit of housekeeping before I hand it over to our speakers today. Please feel free to type any questions you have in the Q&A chat. Our speakers will take the time at the end of the session to answer your questions. This session is recorded and it's going to be available on the Reactor YouTube channel. Then at the end of the session, as I mentioned, the speaker will take the time. If you have any questions that you need an immediate answer, I will be here also moderating and trying to assist during the session. Before we start the session, I also wanted to go over our Microsoft Code of Conduct. Please take a minute to read this slide. We ask you to be welcoming and respectful and friendly during the chat, and kind, considerate to others. Please take a minute to read this slide before we start the session. Okay, and before I hand it over to our speaker, Marjan and Farah, I wanted to hand it over to Bethany, who also organized this series, and she will share a bit from her end. So Bethany, over to you.
Thank you so much, Maureen. From my end, what I want to share is, first, thank you so much for signing up for this series of events. It's a series starting today, ending on January 30th, and I hope to see everyone at the end when we actually discuss how you can get ready for your certification. And one of the things you've done, because you're here, is signed up for the Reactor events. So we have the series of events, the link Mori already posted. And then the next thing is we have a Microsoft Learn Challenge, which you can be able to take part in and learn on your own as you continue this series. For all our Kenyan participants, we have certification vouchers that you can get once you complete the series. And what you need to do is first complete the challenge and then fill the form to be able now to be eligible for the voucher so that we can be able to know who's done what and award you the certification voucher. If you want to interact with the other learners, you can sign up on Discord. We have a Discord community. Basically, it's the AI community that we have for Discord, but you can use this link to get directly signed up to our Discord channel. Other than that, we have a Skills Navigator program whereby once you've been able to complete this program and you want to continue learning and customize your journey, you can use the AI Skills Navigator, which enables you to now customize based on what you've learned or what you want to learn. You customize your AI journey. Lastly, once the whole training is completed, you can go and find all the resources in our Microsoft Learn collection. So this is the link to the collection. This blog post contains everything you need to know about the entire program. The link Moria has already shared on the chat, and you can get started, get to know what exactly you need to do. All the links are here, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them on the Discord channel. Thank you so much. And with that, I want to introduce our speakers for the day. We have Farah and Majan, who are actually recent graduates, as well as they have been student ambassadors for, I think, the past 2, 3 years, if I'm not wrong. And I've been able to watch them grow from students up to now, where they are skilled software engineers as well as ML engineer for Majan. So I'll hand it over to them, who will take us through the entire session, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them on the chat for them to answer. So over to you, Majan.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are. My name is Marjan Hussein. I am excited to be here. And yeah, that is true. I've been a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador for the past 3 years. I managed to get to the gold level, and I am now interning at the Microsoft Africa Development Center. Um, I've been working with Farah since he became a student ambassador, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Thank you, Marjan. Good morning, evening, and afternoon to everyone. As we say here in Kenya, all protocols observed. So, my name is Farah Abdi. I am a software engineer. Like Bethany introduced us, I'm a recent graduate just a few months ago. I've been an Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador for 2 years now, under the mentorship of Marjan, per se. And it's been a nice journey to be under the Microsoft ecosystem. And it is one of the things that has led us to be able to do this session here today.
All right. Thank you. So, fun fact, Farah and I have been doing a lot of technical workshops together, and this one adds to the list. So, I'm excited to see how we're going to do this one. All right. So, during the entire session, you will walk out with a beginner friendly introduction to the AI concepts and overview of the powerful Azure AI services that Microsoft offers. And finally, we're going to have a demo on practical insights on building intelligent applications with Azure. I hope you learn. So, all right. At this age, at this digital time that we are, I am pretty sure that everyone has heard of the word AI, artificial intelligence. But you already know we have machines that can help us solve problems. We have machines that make decisions, and they automate the task that used to take hours or even months or even days or years. But now it has been automated. So AI is already reshaping the industries from healthcare, there's finance, there's retail, there's education. But what exactly is AI and how does it work? I like making people's life easier. So I'm gonna explain what artificial intelligence is. So at its core, AI is like teaching a machine how to think and even learn from experience. It's just like how we teach people or how we teach children to get better tasks by practicing it. So that is how AI learns from the data, and it learns to make predictions, it learns to recognize patterns, it learns to make decisions. So let's not think of AI as something that's here to replace people, but rather let's think of it as increasing the productivity, enhancing what we can do as humans, or helping us become more efficient, become more creative, become more informed. So how is AI changing the organization? How organizations are using AI? So you've probably already seen AI in action, right? How are you using AI in your day-to-day life? Are you using AI to help you filter emails? Are you using AI to suggest the products while you're shopping? Are you using AI to recommend the movies that you're watching or music that you're streaming, or even assist you in driving? But AI's true potential goes beyond these everyday uses that we're doing. We have tools, powerful tools that help us process text, tools that help us process images and videos. So, in generally, AI is helping businesses, it's helping organization to make even more smarter and faster decisions. So it gives them the capability to turn the massive amounts of data that they are working with into valuable insights. So as you're sitting there, think of AI as a sidekick, as an assistant, or rather as an invisible assistant that will always be there working behind the scenes. So every time you're interacting with Siri or Alexa, or at Netflix you have been recommended such a movie based on what you've been watching, or even you're seeing those traffic predictions on Google Maps, that is AI at work. So it's all about simplifying the task, our day-to-day tasks, and improving our experience without even you noticing. Um, switch my slides. All right. So you've also heard of generative AI, I am assuming, or if not, what does generative AI do, or how does it work? So, uh, generative AI works by, obviously, like I said before, learning from vast, talking about huge amounts of data. I'm going to give example with a writer. Yeah. I have friends who are writers, but just like a writer who reads thousands of books just to improve their writing and their understanding, those generative AI models, they are trained on huge and massive amount of data set just to learn the patterns. Um, Example, if you're training a generative AI model on a collection of give an example, collection of paintings, so it can create new and original art paint that reflects the style, the colors, the techniques that has been used on those data that it learned from. Even the chatbots that you build as a developer, those generative AI powered chatbots and writing assistant, for example ChatGPT, they, when you ask a question, for example, when you provide a prompt is a question that you feed into a large language model. So the artificial intelligence will use the knowledge that it's learned to generate the responses, making it even sound more natural, like a human, and very relevant sometimes. So those are the tools that are used when you want to write your essays, when you want to write articles, or those kinds of things that you're using to interact with large language models. All right. The next section that we're going to discuss is the Azure AI service. There are very many powerful services included in the Azure AI, and we're going to discuss overview of each one of them on my screen. I'll pass on to Farah to discuss more about Azure AI Search and Azure OpenAI.
Thank you, Marjan, for that beautiful introduction. So, Marjan has talked about Azure AI services. So, AI is advancing right now, and there's one question that people talk about a lot, like, is AI going to take our jobs? Nope. I usually say that AI is going to take someone who doesn't use AI his or her job. So Azure is there to provide AI services to make your work easier if you want to create intelligent application. So the first one which I'm going to talk about is the Azure Open AI services. Now, the Azure Open AI services is a beautiful service. What it does is you can build your own copilot. You can build your own generative AI application with cutting edge language and vision models. So there are different type of models, right from image and vision models, text chat completion models. We also have embedding models. So you can be able to build.
Okay. So I'm gonna continue with the content safety until Farah is back. I think there's problem with his network. So sorry about that. I'm gonna go on with content safety and Azure AI vision. All right. So let's talk about Azure AI content safety. So this is a service in Azure AI. It's a powerful Azure AI service that helps you detect harmful generated content, be it user generated content or AI generated content in your application. So when you're dealing with text or images, this service will provide you the application programming interface, the API, to help you identify and filter out harmful material. Hi, Farah. Okay, he's dropped.
Hi.
Oh, can you hear
Hi.
us?
I can hear you. Yeah. Sorry. Kenya Power did their thing. So, but I had backup. The
All
electricity
right.
just for a minute. Yeah, but I'm back.
Okay.
Apologies for
I,
that.
I I was talking about content safety, but um, I think let me just finish the content safety and then you can go on with your Azure AI
Yeah.
search just for the flow.
Yeah. No problem. No problem.
All right, great. So as I was saying that when you're dealing with either text or images, this service will provide you with the application programming interface, the APIs that will help you identify to filter out the harmful content. The best part of this thing is that you get to interact with it directly through the Content Safety Studio. So the studio is a platform where you can try out the sample code and you can also explore the features without needing deep technical expertise. This is the beautiful part of having a studio. And you might be asking yourself, why do you need the content safety? In today's digital world, people are building applications and content moderation is very important. So Azure AI content safety will help you, will come in this way it's coming in. It helps you to ensure that your application meets the content guidelines, it complies with the regulations that are set there, and for your users, they get to be provided safe environment to interact with your applications. Those business sectors, for example, gaming, for example, education, social media platforms, and e-commerce platforms, you name it, those businesses need content safety. I'll share a few examples of where you as a developer would need these content safety tools. Good place is online marketplaces. You need to moderate the product catalogs. For example, in gaming companies, they need to ensure that the gaming artifact or the chat content are safe. The best example is it's the social media messaging platforms. You have to moderate the text and the images that are being posted by the users. Uh, Key point to note is that Azure AI content safety cannot detect illegal child exploitation images. You can understand the reason why. Um, just to name a few, the key features of Azure AI content safety. These prompt shields. Prompt shields will help you scan the user inputs for risk in when you're interacting with a large language model to avoid harmful prompts. I can give an example of when you're trying to interact with a large language model and key in harmful prompt, it high chances it's going to respond with sorry, I cannot help you with that. So that is a key feature of Azure AI content safety. There's groundedness detection still in preview, but it ensures that the AI generated text is based on the user source material, like it prevents out of context or misleading responses. Another one that is important is the protected material detection. This one will help you detect AI generated text that may match the copyrighted content, like such as song, lyrics, or articles. You know how copyright is such an issue. Um, One last thing that I can talk about the key features is text moderation API that will help you scan text for harmful content like violence, like hate speech, like self-harm or sexual content. But the good part, it's customizable with the severity levels. Um, So in summary, the Azure AI content safety is going to make it easy to keep harmful content out of your application when you're developing, or your platform or service that you're developing. So you can also interact with the Content Safety Studio, and it will help you to quickly test and customize and monitor your content moderation strategy. So Farah, over to you. You can continue with the Azure AI search.
Yeah, thank you very much. Apologies for that. The electricity went off. So I'm going to talk about Azure AI Search. Now, imagine you want to create your own AI chat application with your own customized data source, right? So you want to deliver a better AI experience, right? With kind of a knowledgeable or a knowledge retrieval system built, right? So there's this principle called retrieval augmented generation and modern search. So for example, you have your data stored in SQL, Azure SQL, or in PostgreSQL. Again, those databases don't have that capability of what you call vector. They don't store vector embeddings and all that. So what Azure AI Search does is it helps you store your knowledge base and also retrieve them using indexes. So a good example, some use cases that we can be able to have for Azure AI is the generative AI search, right? So for example, we have like this app. You want to create an app for your company, for the employees, right? So when you go to ChatGPT or any other large language models, when you try and type in like, okay, what's our vacation? What's the number of leave days? What's the number of the vacation days I can be able to get, sick days? It won't be able to give, since it doesn't have the company data source or knowledge base. So once you create your application, you can be able to use as Azure AI Search to retrieve, right, the data from your from your database. Like for example, SQL, you embed the data using Azure OpenAI and store the embeddings in Azure AI Search, and you can be able to retrieve the most relevant elements or embeddings from there to give context to your chat application, right? For example, now your application, your chat application, your AI application, or your RAG application will be able to have context with it. Now, when you prompt now the model, it will have the context and the prompt, the knowledge or the context and the prompt, and it will be able to give you that. So there are different use cases, from vector search to be able to create an AI assistant, retrieval augmented generation. So that's what Azure AI Search will do. And at the end, I'm going to show you a demo of how Azure AI Search works with Azure OpenAI. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Farah. Let me quickly go over Azure AI Vision, because there are other services that needs time. So the Azure AI Vision, this is also a powerful service in Azure AI, and it offers powerful AI algorithms that will process images and then return insights that you need based on the visual features that you're interested in. So it will help you analyze or interpret images, and then you get to extract the data that you need for various applications. I'm going to talk about the key features of Azure AI Vision. First of all is the optical character recognition, OCR. So this service in Azure AI Vision will help you extract text from images, even if it's handwritten or printed. Good case scenario is a business document, invoices, receipts, posters, business cards, you name it. It uses the deep learning models to read text from various surfaces and even backgrounds. So the good thing, it's also it supports multiple languages, and it works with a wide range of image types. Another key feature that I'll mention is the image analysis. It has image analysis. So this image analysis service will help you extract various visual features from images. For example, objects, faces, even adult content. A good use case is it can identify objects in images, detect faces, analyze scenes automatically. So there's also a face service in Azure AI Vision, and it will help you detect, recognize, analyze human faces and images. And we can think of good use case as blurring, face blurring. Okay, yes, let's use face blurring as a good use case. How it works is that it detects the key facial attributes such as the age, gender, emotion, and even more. I'm going to skip to the next slide. There are more services. Yeah. So I'll talk about Azure AI Translator before I let Farah talk about the Azure AI language. So the Azure AI Translator, it powers many Microsoft products and thousands of businesses worldwide, and it will help you create intelligent, multilingual solutions that will work across various supported languages. So when you're building an application, for example, an application that will let a user communicate no matter their language. So that is the magic of Azure AI Translator. And what can it do? It has fantastic features. I've interacted with it. It has text translation. Good thing it translates the text between supported languages in real time, instantly. You can you can even create a dictionary that is dynamic, and you can customize how specific words or phrases are translated. How to access it? You can use it via REST API, or there is a text translation SDK. Another fantastic feature in Azure AI Translator is document translation. You can translate complex files and still be able to preserve their format and their structure. Another feature is custom translator. This one is the best yet. You can be able to build custom models. They are the good thing is custom. When you hear custom, you should be able to smile wherever you are. You can be able to build custom models to handle specific needs that you want, even if it's personal, be it industry specific language that you need, the terminology, the style. For example, if you're building an application for healthcare or finance, you can use the translator to match the domain specific terms. All right, Farah, over to you. You can speak about the Azure AI language.
Thank you very much, Mardan, for that details. I think the Azure AI translator is really nice. I tried once to translate from Swahili to Somali, my language. It was very funny, but it was really interesting. Now, I'm going to talk about the Azure AI language. Simply, when someone sees the Azure AI language the first time, he or she might think, okay, this is where maybe it has all different languages from English to Swahili. No, what Azure AI languages does, it's a service that helps you create high quality copilots and generative AI application for text, documents, and conversation using like kind of task optimized, pre-built, customizable, small and large language models. Not languages, English, Kiswahili, but large language models. Now, what's the overview? Like, what do you have? One thing you can do is add natural language processing to your generative AI apps, right? We have forgotten about the basics and the fundamentals of machine learning, things like NLPs and all that. So you can be able to add natural language processing to your generative AI, like things like uh, semantic search, things like, for example, things like the ones in Twitter, which tells you positive, negative, and neutral. Also, what you can be able to do is you can be able to customize your own AI models. You can also deploy it anywhere, and you can work even better with generative AI models. Another thing you can be able to do is summarize content. You can derive summaries from documents, meetings. For example, when you one use case we can use is you are at a lecture hall, right? And you're trying to keep up with the lecturer, trying to dictate or write notes. So what you can do is you can create a small application whereby it takes the audio of the lecturer, transcribes it using Azure AI. You can transcribe it, and then you can use Azure AI language to summarize the content, right? Derive the summaries of the lecture. Also, you can customize your own conversational AI languages. And one last thing, you can be able to protect personal sensitive data. So you can detect and redact personal data before storing or retrieving it in your AI workflow. So it's really fun playing with your own models, more of customization, and you can find all other small and large language models there.
All right, great. Thanks, Farah. Let me talk about Azure AI Speech and Document Intelligence quickly. Um, the Azure speech, it offers very many versatile capabilities. Good example is speech to text, that is transcribing the audio into text in real time, either in real time or batches. There's text to speech. It can create human-like speech from text to using neural voices. This one is very interesting when you playing around with the neural voices. The speech translation, they translated spoken audio into multiple languages, and then there's speaker recognition. So you can identify or verify speakers based on their unique voice characteristics. What are the common use cases of Azure AI speech? There, there's some exciting applications. Good example is captioning, where you want to sync captions with audio. There is audio content generation when you want to use neural voices to create something like chatbot interactions or even audiobooks. There are call centers, you can transcribe the calls. There is language learning, you can provide feedback on pronunciation, support transcription for lessons. And finally, there is a voice assistant. You can use this to build natural human-like conversational interfaces. I'll go over to the Azure AI document intelligence and then move on to the next slide. So this one is a cloud-based service. It's a cloud-based service, and it will help you build solutions that are intelligent, that are used for processing documents. So businesses that are using this are able to manage and extract data from vast, huge amount of data they're dealing with. It's unstructured information that are stored in forms, that are stored in invoices, receipts, contracts, you name it. And why would they use Azure AI document intelligence? First, they may want to deal with data overload. Like it can be very difficult to organize and analyze those data and extract it manually. Extract manually. So you might want to use Azure AI document intelligence to deal with this massive amount of data in document. This one also helps to streamline data processing. It will help you manage those documents and process this amount of data, and the result is way faster. It's more accurate. The decision making process and is way accurate, and it enhances the business operations. With that being said, in general, it improves the operation of the business. You can use Azure AI document intelligence when you're dealing with application that spans across financial services, healthcare, legal and contracts. Talking about legal and contracts, you can automatically extract those key clauses and from contracts and legal documents, if you've ever worked with that. And how do you leverage the API? You integrate the Azure AI document intelligence to your workflow by using the API to automate the data. All right, let's go to the next slide. We have talked about 8 powerful Azure AI services. So we are not going to dive into Microsoft Copilot, but we're going to focus on that AI service that is Azure AI Foundry. And I'll let my colleague Farah talk about Azure AI Foundry. Over to you, Farah.
Thank you very much, Marjan, for that. So we have talked about all these Azure AI services. Marjan has spoken about some. I've spoken about some. Now, introducing to you is the Azure AI Foundry. It's kind of like your all-in-one toolkit for building transformative AI apps. So you can be able to develop and deploy custom AI apps and API responsibly with a comprehensive platform. You get the Azure AI search there, Azure AI Translate, like everything is there. It's a one-stop place. It's a one-stop shop, as you can say. So its overview, it's kind of like it simplifies deployment and improves AI efficiency. Also, you can build with a complete AI toolchain. You can safeguard it. You can be able also to scale AI production with enterprise cloud, right? So use cases, I'm going to mention a few. Build your own AI agents. You can also chat with your data. You can predict customer needs, things like that. Analyze and summarize documents. So it's kind of like entails everything that you have spoken about, right? It's a one-stop shop for simplifying the Azure AI development process, right? So it has an SDK, Azure AI Foundry SDK. And during my demo, I'm going to just quickly pass through the platform, show you how it looks like, yeah, and how actually interesting it is. Yeah. Over to you, Marjan.
All right, thanks, Farah. So Azure AI services are pre-built. Um, for years, artificial intelligence has been out of reach for small, medium enterprises, except for the largest technology company, of course. But why do you think so? Well, I think it's because building and training artificial intelligence models will require vast amount of data, and it will require immense computing, and it will require a team of highly specialized programmers, right? So, in short, it used to be expensive and complex, but that's all changed because of the power of Azure AI services. Now, let me explain what I've just said. So, this Azure AI will make is making AI accessible to businesses of all sizes. Um, it offers pre-built, ready-to-use solutions by advanced machine learning models, right? So these services they provide the same high performance computing that are used by these tech companies, these tech giant companies. But now they are available to any developer like you and me of all skill levels. So there's no need to build models from scratch. There's no need for specialized infrastructure. But what makes Azure AI so exciting is it has the breadth and the versatility of its services. I've seen someone asking, how do you access all these services? You can go type in your browser the Azure portal. You can, if you're a student, you can access the services via Azure for Student. You get $100 worth credits, and that is how you can access the services in Azure. All right, so this Azure portfolio it covers a wide range of tools and services that are there for industry use cases, for developers use cases, for organization use cases, just to unlock the power of AI in a variety of ways. I'll give an example of education with Azure's immersive reader. So there are students that have different learning abilities and needs, and they can get benefit from those personalized learning experiences. So let's think of a student who wants to read more slowly, or a student who is a non-native speaker, or a student who needs a text to be translated into their own language. So this is where immersive reader comes in. It adapts to all these needs. It helps the students to learn at their own pace, in their own way, in their own time. So it's a prime example of how artificial intelligence can level the playing field for learners regardless of their needs. So it is designed to, be a plug and play. You can use it right out of the box with minimal setup. So the real magic happens when you want to customize. So every time I mention customize, you should be smiling. For example, with Azure AI Vision, Azure AI Speech, Azure Open AI, like Farah mentioned, you can enrich all these existing models with your own data to fit the unique needs that you have as a developer. All right. How do you access all these amazing services? So let's take a moment and think about how we build our applications, our web application, our mobile applications, our solutions today. So whether you're working on a web application or a mobile application or an enterprise system, you need the tools that will help you to integrate, automate, and scale. So this is where Azure AI comes in, and it will provide you with ways that you have to access. You have to access the services and integrate the AI capabilities into your project. So you can interact with these services through the REST APIs, these client libraries, or even you can integrate them into the tools that might already be using, such as the Power Automate or Logic apps. But again, like I said, I like making life simple for people. What are APIs? I'm sure most of you know what API is, but they are application programming interfaces. Think of it as bridges that will connect different software components. They define the information that is needed for one system for it to access the functionality of another. So think of it as a waiter in a restaurant. You are the customer, and you really don't need to know how the kitchen works, yeah? But you tell the waiter what you want. and they bring it to you. That's how it works with APIs. It allows your software components to communicate with another one without you needing to understand the process that's behind it. All right. I hope that has made your life easier if you didn't know more about the APIs. So I'll move, let Farah take over with the demo. And Farah, you can share your screen.
Okay, let me share my screen quickly. So I'm gonna start with just to be able to show you, right, what Marjan was actually talking about. So you need to have an Azure account. That's one thing, and you can be able to have it $100 free credits. You create a resource group, and then you can be able to. If we had more time, I could have dived on how to create all these services. But if you any service that you need, you can search through the tab, and you can be able to get it. So I just wanted to show you guys the Azure AI Foundry, how it actually looks like. So you explore Azure AI Foundry here. So yeah, apologies for that. So let's explore Azure AI Foundry. Um, Hope you can be able to see. Now, Marjan talked about keys and all that. So you have all this, everything. You have your resource name, the subscription, and all the keys and the endpoint, right? A fun thing you can be able to explore is you can create your own deployment. So the demo which I'm going to show you, I've used these two chat deployments. This one for the chat completion, and this one for the embedding. So you can be able to simply deploy a base model, which is a pre-built model. You can be able to choose all these ones and deploy it depending on your use case. Or you can deploy a fine-tuned model that you have trained. You can choose to deploy it, right? So that's the beauty of Azure AI Foundry. And without further ado, so before I finish, if you want to get the keys, you just click on the deployment. You can see the endpoint here, and you can find the keys here. And for better security, it's better to store your credentials in an Azure service called Azure Key Vault, whereby you can be able to store your secrets there. Now, without further ado, I'm going to jump in to the chat demo, to the code demo. Marjan, can you be able to see?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this is just a quick demo. So this sample use case is a dataset. This dataset is consists of reviews of foods from Amazon. So the data span is a period of more than 10 years, including 5,000 reviews of people who have reviewed on the Amazon food store, right? So it includes all reviews. So what you're going to do is, so this architecture is simple, right? A user prompts this application, right? So what it does is it goes and retrieves the data. It embeds the user prompt, goes, retrieves the data from the database, uh, uh, and checks in the Azure AI search, right? And gets the top most relevant element. So we add a sample to the Azure SQL database product, and then we create embeddings for the sample data using an Azure OpenAI embeddings model. Then we link the Azure database to Azure AI search, since the Azure SQL database doesn't have an inbuilt vector indexing. So we create a vector index, we perform a vector similarity search, and then question answering over the sample data. So here we create we connect to our database instance, and then we create the table where we're going to store the reviews, right? And then here we are able to load the reviews here, and then we insert it into our database, right? So I had the CSV here, I load it into the database. Once it's in the database, we retrieve the data from the database. After that, we are done with storing our data. Now, our Azure SQL is our data store, our knowledge base. That's where our knowledge is. And most organization is going to have their knowledge stored in an SQL database, in a Azure Cosmos DB, in an NoSQL database. They are going to have their own place where they store their data source. So this is our sample data, where we are storing our data source. Now, this part of the code, I'm just retrieving my credentials from Azure Key Vault, right? There are two ways. You can have an environment variable file, or you can use the Azure Key Vault. So I initialize the Azure Key Vault, get all the credentials required for me, from the embeddings deployment credential to the chart completion to the Azure AI search credentials. Then, once I load that, I create the embeddings of this data that we have. So this is the data source. I process it and create the embedding. So you can see embeddings in simple terms is just numbers that give words meaning, right? For example, a dog, a cat, and a skateboard. A dog and a cat have a closer meaning to each other since they're animals more than a skateboard. So it's just giving meaning to words, since machine learning models can't be able to process words. So you convert it into numbers, and these numbers just is the meanings of those words and how closer they are to each other. Then we store the embeddings. Now we have the embeddings, right? We've gotten the embeddings. We store these embeddings in the Azure. It used to be called Cognitive Search. Now it's called Azure AI Search. We store the embeddings in the Azure AI Search. So we need our endpoint here, our name and our index. So we create the index here. And then what we do is we take the payload of the data or the embeddings that we have in batches, and then we insert it into Azure AI Search. Now we have our payload in Azure AI Search. We are done. We have all this data, that our data source, in embeddings in Azure AI Search, right? Now what's remaining is when I use a prompt search, you can be able to do a vector similarity search. Now, for example, let's say a user say, I love those candies, or I love cookies, or this meat was great. So what it's going to do is we're going to retrieve the most relevant elements, right, from Azure AI Search. So we convert a user question to an embedding. Remember, a model cannot work with words. So we need to convert the prompt into embeddings. And then you take these embeddings. Remember, we said embeddings is just giving the words meaning, right? So we retrieve the most relevant elements, right? We're just retrieving the most relevant elements. After that, we have it, the top 4. I chose 4 since I didn't want, you can choose 10 most relevant elements, but I chose 4 for simplicity. So here I'm just retrieving the actual text from the database. I have it as IDs, right? Now, what I have here, I've retrieved now. I have these IDs, and I go now to my database and retrieve now this data. So what Azure AI Search has done is it has helped me get the most relevant elements from the user prompt. Now I got the database, I retrieved this using the ID, right? I have, you can see they are more related to candy, more or less related. And then I create a prompt template. A prompt template is a prompt engineering method whereby you're just trying to direct the LLM, right, what to do. So I tell them, I give it the context, and I tell them, answer the question based on the context above. So I provide the product ID associated. So provide the product ID associated with the answer as well, right? So if the information to answer the question is not present, just say no. So what you're going to do, a user says that. So what is going to produce as a product ID related to that element. Now, this is the context, right? And now I just format the element with the context and the question. So this is the question. I love those candy. And this is the context, right? Remember, we say at the end of the day, what a retrieval augmented generation principle is just to help give the large language model context and knowledge that it doesn't have, right? So LLMs have two disadvantages. One, it doesn't have real-time information. Two, it has the hallucinations, right? So you're trying to give it context, right? And you're trying to give it your own knowledge to be able now to even give you a better answer. So you have a context and we have the question, right? So I'm doing is I'm just going to use the model that I created there, and then I tell it the content is, and then I pass the prompt or the user input, right? And then it's going to give me a response. So it's telling, based on your statement, it seems you're referring to the product with ID, this one, right? So you can be able to improve even this system and tell it, okay, to convert this ID into the product name. So what you've done is when a user types in a review, it can be able to actually relate to a product, right? I love candies, so it's going to relate to the product candies in that restaurant, right? So similar use cases is the one that I gave earlier about an HR management, a HR management chatbot. So ChatGPT or the models doesn't know about the inner workings of the HR in your organization. So what it's going to do is going to help you give it context, right? Give it the leave days, the sick days, so that when it gives the answer, it's going to say, okay, according to this, this is what you're supposed to be. I'm going to paste the GitHub repo link. I'm going to paste the GitHub repo link in the chat. Hopefully you can be able to interact with it and give it more feedback. Yeah, thank you very much. Over to you, Marzan.
All right. Thank you, Farah, for that amazing demo. I'm sure most of us have gotten a pretty clear understanding of how to work with the Azure AI service. So yeah, that is it for our session today. We are 4 minutes away from our time. Yeah, we can take the questions if that's okay, or I will pass it to Moria.
Yeah.
Thank you for your session. Thank you so much, Marjan and Farah. It was a great session and we received really great comments. There were quite a few questions, but I know we only have a couple of minutes left, so we will try to see those that are most relevant. If you have some technical questions now, please feel free to share your questions now. The last one that I see is, I am not sure what was the code for the RAG application. Um,
Oh, I've shared the GitHub link there, and I'm going to, yeah, the GitHub link. I'm
I
going to
so I
find it.
just shared it now. I just
Yeah.
shared it now. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we had that great compliments about the session. What happened if I use the 100 free credits? Well, you can then go to move to pay as you as a service. So there are options for you if you check out the Microsoft website for the for Azure for Students. You have the Q&A part, and you can see the option what happens when is that when the $100 credit is finished. It says the repo is empty, Farah. So I'm just receiving some comments about it in the chat.
Oh yeah. I'm about to push
Okay,
the. Yeah.
so it will be so it
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
be,
The
yes.
code will be
Um,
available in that repo.
I think we covered quite a lot because the questions came at the early part of the session. So please, everybody, I invite you to share your questions now in the chat. If in case we missed your question, please feel free to post it now. Um, let's see a question here. Um, yes, so I've posted the question on the screen. What are the prerequisites before learning AI as a beginner?
All right, I will take that question. You need to come in with a lot of passion and commitment because you'll face the bumps, but you need to have the moral, the commitment. You don't get to the other side of the river by just jumping in to step on those small rocks just for you to learn. And technically speaking, you can go over to Microsoft LearnPath. There is a link that was shared earlier on and start learning at your own pace, the Microsoft LearnPath, and start learning the languages that are you're comfortable with. Most likely, you're going to be interacting with Python. But yeah, good luck.
Okay, next question. When using RAG, does Azure AI provide specific vector database?
Yeah, I'll take that question. So you can use Azure AI Search as a vector database, and also you can be able to use Azure Cosmos DB as also a vector database, right? But I think Azure AI Search is better for as a vector store and a vector database. Yeah.
Okay. How I create a similar ChatGPT app with different focus, like professional in any area as a software engineer, integrating Azure AI. So I think he meant,
Oh,
Jeremy, if you
oh,
can maybe, yeah, rephrase the
I
question.
I am thinking is asking how we can build an application that is similar to ChatGPT with there's a different focus on like professional and all right. I wait, wait okay, similar to ChatGPT, it can be a little bit hard because of the vast amount of training data and compute immense computing power. But if you want to integrate leverage the capabilities of those large language models, you can integrate the APIs. But similar app to GPT, uh, well, yeah, good luck.
Yes. Can someone start the challenge now and complete? Uh, yes, I'm referring. You're talking about the learning challenge that we shared before. Yes, that is not a problem. You can share the challenge. Marjan, do you think he was referring to anything else?
I think they are referring to the Microsoft Land
Yes,
challenge.
the challenge
Yeah,
that we shared.
yeah.
Um, so, are there any vouchers? Currently, the vouchers are available for Kenya. So, if there will be other opportunities, we will share them. We will share them in other events, but for this series, unfortunately, it's only for those who are based in Kenya. Um, Looking at other questions that can be relevant. Maybe we'll take one more before we wrap up the session. Can RAG be used in unsupervised learning? Mm, Farah, can you maybe answer this one?
Um, I think he
Not
meant
sure.
about. I think he meant about things
Maybe.
unsupervised learning like clustering. That's what he
Mm,
meant. I think yeah, you can be able
yeah.
to use it in unsupervised learning. Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people also saying it was a great session, and I know we're just on time. So I wanted to thank you both, Farah and Marjan, for this really great session today, and everybody for participating. We really hope you enjoyed this session. As we mentioned, this is the first one in this series. We have another session on this coming Thursday at the same time in 2 days. I will be here. We have another speaker. I hope I will see you there. You can listen to the recording on the YouTube channel as this session was recorded. Um, yeah, so that's it from our end. Thank you everyone who joined us, and we'll see you at the next event.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.